I really, truly am Spiirall's biggest fan. Whenever I'm at a conference or a seminar, I always mention Spiirall. I'm always like, oh, well, I'll show you. I mean, you guys really need to, you need to learn about this product. It'll make your life so much easier. So I can't say enough positive things about the company and the team. We were looking for an internal, or potentially exploring the idea of an internal learning and development person, because we knew that that was a need at our firm, something that we used to handle, like just various people would handle various different aspects, and it just wasn't panning out the way that we wanted to. So we started talking about hiring an internal person. And I believe we kind of mentioned that idea to either Sandra or John at Boomer Consulting, and they had said, oh, well, there's this new company called Spiirall. They're kind of offering those same services. You guys should give them a look. So we did. We connected with Danielle, kind of found out everything about Spiirall, everything that they offer, and then weighed pros and cons of bringing it internal or outsourcing it to Spiirall, and it just made so much more sense outsourcing it to Spiirall. They were able to provide everything that we needed and that like level of expertise that I feel like it would have been hard to find somebody internally to do that, because we needed tax, we needed CAS, we needed audit and assurance. So I think to find someone that hit all those areas would have been really challenging. So it just made the most sense. We're launching our third learning plan cycle. So on October 1st, we've just launched our third learning plan cycle. So it's been about 2 years. We've worked with them on a couple different projects. One is our advisory mindset training that we did back in December, where we brought our whole firm in before our holiday party and kind of just explored the idea of the advisory mindset and like the beginning stages to that, to kind of get our staff to start thinking as advisors and not just technicians. We're actually doing an advisory mindset 2.0 in December again of this year. It's like a continuation of that training. We've also done manager masterclass. So really working with our manager level staff to introduce them to the idea of actually managing people. And we did the 6 critical practices with them, and that was a really great training for them. I feel like we could have gone on for like 2 days on just all the content, because it was such good information, and they were like so willing to like absorb it and just kind of flip the mindset thinking, like that they really are able to shape the future of the firm. And then we also did a shareholder, or Danielle and Andrea came to our first annual shareholder summit, and they did some training with our shareholders on team leading, development, really like focusing on what it means to be a shareholder and how to act and think as a shareholder. One, kind of what I talked about before, like you're getting, instead of hiring one person, you're getting 10 different people that have expertise in all of the different areas of your firm. So I mean, I feel like just that alone, that's an invaluable thing. You can't hire somebody who's going to have that qualification in all those different areas. Also, I feel like with the Spiirall team, you're what they say they're going to do, they do. And I think that's really unusual, or really like a gem in the world of working with like a consultant or a third party, because a lot of times they say, oh, I'll email you, or I'll take care of this for you. And then you have to follow up and you have to make sure that it's being handled. And that's just not the Spiirall way. They do what they say they're going to do. And to me, that is just something that's priceless, because they're just so helpful and just good people. Initially, I started working with Andrea and Asia. And they're obviously both fantastic. Asia is just like above and beyond, super helpful, super friendly. Andrea is just on point, knows her stuff. I've also worked with Kevin. He's actually the one who's come on site both times for our different trainings, and he's just such a wonderful person, such a really great facilitator, like knows the questions to ask and the right things to say to people to get those conversations going and to get the engagement from the people that he's training. But it doesn't feel fake. It doesn't feel forced. It really feels like they really like what they do, and they really like their team, and they really like the content that they're providing. So I feel like that it just seems genuine. Also working with Danielle. I mean, Danielle is wonderful. I feel like there's nobody like
amazing. We love her.
She's so amazing. Just one thing that really stands out to me is when she was at our shareholder summit, and there was just some various different topics that we were talking about, and she was just immediately able to just jump right in and provide us direction and to kind of tell the shareholders what they needed to hear in a respectful, professional manner, but really that was impactful to them. So that was super beneficial for us. I could just go on and on. Zach, we used to work with Asia. We transitioned to Zach kind of, I guess, when he was brought on board. He's been nothing but wonderful. Just a great team. One of the things that I think has been super helpful, challenge that we had in the past, is we spent a lot of time like creating what we considered not even our learning plans, but our tracks for our staff to like, hey, this is the CPE we want you to do for your level and your department. And then we would create all of that and publish it to our staff. And then they would go to listen to it or watch it, and it was expired. And so then it was like you had to almost start the whole process over again. We did all that work, put all that time in, and then it was kind of for nothing because the courses weren't available. So that's like one thing that's been taken off of our plate. Because if that does happen, we just, message the Spiirall team and they'll handle it for us. I mean, that, again, of course, too, the tracks and the learning plans that they create kind of tie in with all of that. But just to not have to worry about it, just that it's so streamlined and so seamless. It's just like, they kind of put it on a silver platter and say, here you go. It's made our lives so much easier. And I really feel like it's enhanced the development of our staff. And that's the whole point. We want to develop our people. We want them to grow. We want them to learn. So that's the whole point. And I think they've done that. So one thing that comes to mind is like the specific trainings that they've done for us. Like I'll come to Andrea and say, hey, we've got an issue with our managers not understanding or needing some more assistance in helping to manage people that are below them. And then she'll say, oh, okay, great. Well, let me hear a little bit more about that problem. Let's talk through it. And then, let me bring Kevin aboard. We've got this great program we can do. So really, like I just bring this problem to the table, and they offer, 5 different solutions to help me. And then I kind of pick the one that best suits our firm's needs, and we go from there. And prior to that, one, I wouldn't have anyone to bounce those ideas off of. 2, if we were going to create some sort of content or topic, we would either have to do that internally or outsource that. It's just made it so much simpler and easier.